Hello. 'Tis the season, or at least I hope it is by the time I've uploaded this video. It is currently the 10th of October right now when I'm recording this, so the chances are this probably won't be out in October, but I tried. I've gone to the effort of wearing a witch's hat and my spooky dress today, which has pumpkins and shit on it, and the reason for that is we're going to make pumpkin pie. So I am very sick at the moment still, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that I'm not sick to lure my body into a sense of illusion where I actually am fine and it starts behaving like it's fine. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to film this pumpkin pie video and everything's going to be great. It's going to be fine. So I've never made pumpkin pie before, but I do eat a lot of butternut squash, and the relevance to that is this. I have to prepare butternut squash quite often and it's a fucking bitch to prepare. It's like peeling it, cutting it, I have like zero upper body strength. Like that's salt cake. You need to get your biggest knife, cut the pumpkin into like tiny bits and then peel all the hard skin off and stuff. So I would say it took me 20 minutes in total to peel and chop and de-seed and take all the mad crap outside of a pumpkin. It took me 20 minutes to do all of that to one pumpkin that was about this size to get enough pumpkin for this pie. Then it took me maybe 15-20 minutes to boil the pumpkin to make it soft enough. So I've done all that before filming this, because if you don't know how to peel a vegetable and boil it, then I can't help you. So far in this video, I can't remember anything I've just said. I feel like I've ranted and went off in a weird, strange tangent about nothing. It's very warm, so I may take my hat off, but let's just start this pie. Let's just start it, I don't know. Okay, so we're back here at a very strange angle again, just like the pecan pie video, and similarly to the pecan pie video, we need to use short crust pastry. I made the short crust pastry in the pecan pie video, and it's not that difficult to make. You need more patience than you do skill, and patience is something I don't have any of today. I am fresh out of all patience. So we're going to use shop bought short crust pastry, which, don't let it fool you, is still a fucking bitch. So we're going to use this, and today we're going to use the BBC Food website for this recipe. 3 reasons why we're using the BBC Food website is because 1, I've never made pecan pie before, so do not have a recipe. 2, I can't be bothered making my own recipe. And 3, whenever I follow a recipe and it goes wrong, then I'm not to blame. The recipe is. And because I've never made this before, if I follow this exactly, then hopefully I won't be left with all the filling I was left with, just like the pecan one. I'm hoping if I just follow this recipe, then I can't go wrong. Do you know what I mean? Someone else. Blame someone else. It's someone else's fault. Right now, what you're supposed to have is your oven preheating. So it says your oven should be preheating to 180 degrees or 160 degrees if you're using a fan oven, and that is gas mark 4, and Fahrenheit will be in the description below. So it says roll out your pastry on a lightly floured surface, blah blah blah, on a 22cm loose bottom tin, which is what I've got here, is what you're going to need. Beep. So got my pastry and a clean surface. I've got my plain flour, got my tin. So I'm just going to, it doesn't need rolling, but what I would suggest is maybe just putting a little bit down, because if you buy shop bought that's rolled up already, it's obviously pre-rolled. But I am going to flour my hands, and I'm going to move this camera around to show you that this is still a bitch. Okay, it still crumbles away and all that. And keep this in the fridge for as long as possible, because it's going to have to go back in the fridge. But now that I've floured my hands, let's touch the camera. Great, fucking idiot. Right, so when you start to like roll this out, it will still stick. See? It's just the nature of this pastry. It will always stick. So just keep that in mind. There's another big bit there. So we don't need all of this, so I'm going to get a knife And I'm going to cut it about, let's see if we can show you that. I'm going to cut it just here because we're not going to need all of this full bit of pastry. And again, I'm just going to get some flour and just flour this and flour my hands because pastry's shit. Pastry is shit. And for ease, I'm going to do my best to cut the paper that the pastry is on just so I can get rid of this random bit at the side. So all I'm left with is this. Now, at this point I've established I do not have a peony on again, but do you know what? Let's fucking roll it. So because it's shot bought and it's already flat, I'm just going to be mental and just fuck it over. Just straight over, because all we need to do is peel it off right now and just sort of shape it into the tin. See, it's fine. So lift up the edges like this and then gently just poke the dough into the corners. Now my dough's gone a bit shiny because it's starting to melt, because my kitchen is warm, because I have already boiled my pumpkin. So that's not great. So we have to get this done as soon as. So I would say that that's okay. And what I'm going to do is just lightly press down on all the edges, and that will naturally cut the excess dough away. See, it's gone all stringy because it's warm, which is bad. So this has to go back in the fridge for like 15 minutes, so we'll do that ASAP. And there's a wee hole there, so we're just going to patch that shit up. That's enough of that nonsense. I'm going to put this in the fridge like immediately because it's too warm. It's too warm. She says immediately and then keeps poking it. Stop, Suzanne. Stop. Stop now. Right, okay, fridge. That's pretty much it when it comes to the dough. We've cut away probably half of this video because I don't have to make the dough. You can make the dough if you want. If you want to see how I made the dough the last time, I'd recommend checking out the pecan pie video. But if you don't want to do that, you can basically buy short crust pastry from anywhere. You can actually buy frozen dough. You can get it from Iceland. I don't know if you have Iceland where you are, but like it's a really cheap supermarket and you'll get 2 big blocks of it. I think it's like £1 and it would easily do like 4 pies. So there's that. But yeah, I'm going to clean this and then we're going to go through what we do with the pumpkin pie. Okay, so now we're going to start filling. And what we're going to do now is we're going to push our pumpkin puree through a sieve. So at the start of this video I did talk to you about how difficult it is to peel and prepare a pumpkin. That's probably going to be the longest part of what you do. I have 750 grams of pumpkin and that was before it was boiled. So you weigh and measure the just cubed raw pumpkin. If you don't want to use grams, this website says that it's £1 of pumpkin or 10 ounce of pumpkin. And apparently you can use butternut squash as well, but I don't know how that would taste. Maybe sweeter actually, I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to do that. So my pumpkin's actually still warm. It tells you to squish through the cold pumpkin, but I am impatient and also I feel like this will cool it faster. So we're just going to squish that through the now. So this is my cooked pumpkin and I'm going to squish it through a sieve. I think that sieve might be a bit too small, but we'll try it. Yeah, let's try that again. So I feel like this is going to be a fucking absolute task and a half, but I think I'm using the wrong sieve, you know. Maybe this siev's a bit too small. I have other sieves though, so let's give them a go. I feel like a food processor would probably do this better. There's obviously no seeds or anything, you're just making it a soft puree, but whatever, man. Yeah, I take it back. Boiling and preparing the pumpkin might not be the longest part, this might be.
One eternity later.
I think that's about as good as we're going to get it. Now, the fact that I've not got much puree left makes me really angry, the fact that I even did this, because I'm thinking to myself, I probably didn't have to do this. But you know what? BBC Good Food website told me to do it, so who am I to judge? So that's like what I'm left with, which was like not much really in the way of like pumpkin that had to not go into this mix. And this is my pumpkin puree. Looks like baby food. So I'm going to put my pumpkin puree to the side for a minute because we're going to have to bring our pastry back out now and it's going to have to go in the oven. So we'll do that now. So just like the pecan pie video, we've got our pastry here. We're just going to stab the bottom of it. There we go. And then we're going to scrunch up our paper so that it fits the case a little bit better. I don't know if you can see that, there you go. And then we're going to put our bacon beans in it. So, here we go. This is now going to go into our preheated oven for 15 minutes. You're going to take it out after 15 minutes and then put it back in for 10 minutes. So we'll put it in for 15 minutes just now. Our timer is now set for 15 minutes, so we can get on with continuing, excuse me, oven. We can get on with continuing with the inside of the pie. So we're going to do our dry ingredients just now. So dry ingredients consist of 140 grams of caster sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, measured. So it asks for half a teaspoon of cinnamon. It's 1 full teaspoon really, but you're only putting half of the cinnamon in the actual mixture just now. So it's half a teaspoon of cinnamon into the sugar mixture and the salt mixture, okay? And then keep half a teaspoon back, or just keep it in here and then use it later. It asks for half a teaspoon of nutmeg. I don't have a half teaspoon measurement, so I'm just gonna eyeball what I think half a teaspoon is in regards to this. A wee bit less maybe. In my unprofessional opinion, that is half a teaspoon. Don't know. We'll soon find out. So that's all your dry ingredients really. Just sugar, salt, cinnamon and nutmeg. Just give that a good mix round. So you now have all your dry ingredients fully combined. Next, your wet ingredients. So you need 25 grams of melted butter, so I'm just going to put that into a jug and just melt it straight in the jug. So once your butter is melted, just put it straight into the sort of sugar and cinnamon and nutmeg and salt mixture. In the same jug, you're going to measure out your milk, which is 175 millilitres of milk. And again, just put that straight into your bowl with your cinnamon and sugar. And give that a good mix. I'm actually going to use a whisk for that. Just so it's fully combined. Next, into this mixture we're going to put our 2 eggs. Then as per usual, obviously wash your hands after touching eggs. And again, just give that a mix round. Okay, so if you're following this recipe with me on the BBC website, then all we've done so far is basically up to step 3. Step 2 is having the pie crust in the oven for 15 minutes. It's about to come out just now, and then we have to take the beans out and put it back in for 10 minutes. So we'll do that then. This is what it looks like just now. It's gone back in for 10 minutes. Okay, so our pie crust has been in the oven for 15 minutes with the bacon beans on. It's came out, the bacon beans are no longer in, and it's back in the oven now for 10 minutes. Still at the same temperature as we had, which is 180 degrees or 160 if you're using a fan oven. To recap what we've done, we have boiled and pureed our pumpkin and left it to cool in this one bowl. Nothing else, just pumpkin. In this bowl we have our 140 grams of caster sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, our 2 beaten eggs, our 25 grams of melted butter and 175 millilitres of milk. So all that's left to do now is combine both of these. So all we're going to do is pour this into the pumpkin mix. Just use my wet whisk to combine it through. Smells really nice actually. So yeah, that's basically it. This is the mixture that we're left with, and this is going to be poured into our pie crust once the pie crust comes out of the oven. Okay, so our pie crust is now out of the oven. It's shrank a wee bit, but fuck it, who cares? And it's cooled down enough that we can put the stuff inside it, the actual filling inside it. So we're going to do that now, and again, I have followed this recipe exactly, and this is too much filling. It's too much filling, man. I don't know what's happening, but I'm not to blame. Okay, just let's be clear on that. So we're going to put that in there. Now, when you take the pie crust out of the oven for the second time after the 10 minutes, you want to put your oven up to 220 degrees or 200 degrees if you're using a fan oven, and that would be gas mark 7. Again, the Fahrenheit will be in the description below. So your oven has to preheat to that temperature for the filling to go in the pie and the pie to go in the oven at that preheated temperature. Cool. I'm going to give this a mix round and plop it in. Do you know what it looks like? It looks like soup. So I have put it to the sides as much as I can. I don't want it to go any higher than that because I feel like it's going to expand as it cooks and it might overflow. But that's where I'm at just now, and this is going to go in the oven now. Okay, so your pie mixture goes in your pie, it goes into the oven at 220 degrees or 200 degrees if you use the fan oven, or gas mark 7. Again, Fahrenheit will be below. It goes into the oven for 10 minutes at that temperature. Then after 10 minutes, put the temperature back down to what it was before when you were cooking the pastry, which is 180 degrees, 160 for fan. I think it's gas mark 4. Yeah, gas mark 4. Then it will cook for another 35 to 40 minutes. Saying that, I followed the BBC Good Food recipe exactly. The only thing that's happened maybe is that my pastry shrunk a little bit, but even if my pastry hadn't shrank, it wouldn't have fit the rest of this pie mixture. So because there's less pie mixture, I would maybe check on it earlier than the 35 to 40 minutes once the temperature's been reduced. So personally what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook it for 10 minutes at the high temperature, then after 10 minutes I'm going to put it down, and then I'm going to cook it for another 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then I'm going to have a look at it. Now, like the pecan pie video, I'm going to take the experience from that and probably turn the pie halfway through cooking just so that it browns evenly, and I'm going to keep an eye on it so that the pastry doesn't start to catch and burn, and if it does, I'll put some tin foil over the top of it. If it was all of that filling, I would definitely cook it for 35 to 40 minutes, but because it's not all of the filling, I'm going to keep an eye on it and see how long I'm going to cook it for. But I'll definitely let you know how long I cooked it for once it's out of the oven. So this is the pie straight out of the oven. It's literally just came out. It doesn't look much different from when it first went in, other than the sort of crust is browned some more. In future I would absolutely use my own pastry because this pastry is, as you can see, garbage. It's shrank a lot, it's a lot more crumbly and stuff. So yeah, I would use mine in future. The only things I can see is it's a little bit browned here, but it's been in now for the full extra sort of 40 minutes. I know I'd mentioned that I didn't want to put it in for the full amount, but it still looks pretty soft to me, so I kept it in. All that's left to do now is, excuse me, all that's left to do now is to leave it to cool, and then we basically sprinkle cinnamon and icing sugar on top. So yeah, I'll come back when it's cooled. So lastly, all you have to do once it's cooled is basically put icing sugar and a little bit of cinnamon and dust it over it. So the recipe had called for half a teaspoon of cinnamon in it, because the other half a teaspoon of cinnamon has to go on it. So we're going to do that now. So what I'm going to do is basically just put some icing sugar in my sieve, and then I'm just going to put my half a teaspoon of cinnamon on it. And that should mean that when I'm sifting it, it should be even. I mean, a clever person would say mix them together in a bowl and then put them in this, but that's not who I am. Remember, and only do this once it's fully cooled, or you'll melt the icing sugar. So I'm just going to put like quite a thick coating of that on top, just because it looks nice. Just push through the wee lumps that we couldn't get out. Now a smarter person could have put a stencil on this, icing sugar off, and then pulled the stencil off, and it would have revealed like maybe a message like Happy Halloween or a pumpkin face or something like that. That would have been really clever, but yours truly is a fucking dick and didn't do that. So here we are. I got these out to measure with and then didn't use them. So this is what we're left with. I'm going to try and cut a slice out of this now. It feels very soft. So this is my pie piece, and here is the inside. This is what it looks like close up. And this is the slice, close up. Okay, so this has been making pumpkin pie. I think it turned out okay. It's maybe a little bit soft. I think what I need to do is maybe get a much bigger tin than what the recipes are advising, but there we are. So as usual, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to comment, I read every single comment and I usually reply to most of them as well. If you just want to see daily life stuff, I have an Instagram. If you want to chat shit, I've got a Twitter. And if you want to support me in any way, shape or form, I have a Patreon as well. So thank you so much for coming to see me make pumpkin pie. It's the only thing that I could think of that was sort of Halloween themed, because pumpkins. So yeah, if you have any suggestions of what I should have done instead or what I should do in the future, please again comment below and let me know. Thanks very much, and I'll see you later. Bye!